Hi, this is Michael. We're going to take a look at how to stretch and shrink sections of an image. There might be a technical term for that, but I don't know what it is, so that's what I'm going to call it. A member of our photo group here, Jean Claude Schmidt, has an excellent photo he's agreed to let me work on. A picture of Lake Como in Italy, and a bunch of us in the group sort of thought that maybe it might be beneficial to have the boat a little higher in the image. Whether we're right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. We're just going to take a look at how something like that might be done. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and we're going to unlock our image. If you double click the layer, hit OK, it is now unlocked in case we want to modify that layer. Otherwise, we just go ahead and drag down to the page icon, and that duplicates the layer for us. We also could have hit Command J, that would have jumped that or duplicated it to a new layer. Now that we have that section, what we want to do by bringing the boat higher in the picture, we need to shrink part of it. So I'm going to grab my marquee, which is also the M shortcut, and drag across. And what I want to do is make sure I'm not up into the land, and I'm also not grabbing part of the boat. I land myself up to the bottom of the shore and the top of the mast. Go ahead and let go there. Now if I hit Command T, that's going to transform just the selection. I can go ahead and drag that up, and since I've done this once or twice as practice, I know I want to go quite a ways. I want to be pretty extreme with how much I bring this up. Click to accept, Command D will deselect that, and I've shrunk up that little bit in the middle there. If I turn off my background layer, you can actually see the whole. So what I want to do now is go ahead and marquee again with the M tool to select that. M key selects that tool. Drag right around the edge here. Grab that, Command Shift J will cut it out and jump it to a new layer. V key is the move tool, selects that. And I'm going to drag this on up. If I hit the Shift key while dragging, I drag in a straight line and just line it right back up. Right about there. And now I've brought it up, and you can't really see any distortion as I've done that. Now, if I want to go ahead and hit my crop tool, and C for a crop tool, click on it, brings up my rule of thirds, and maybe we're sort of stuck on that. We think that it should be lined up on the rule of thirds, or at least a third of the way across. So I can drag out with my crop tool, get the boat on the third marker there, and it just extends my canvas for me. I'm going to accept that. Now I have, you'll see my layers panel over here, you see I have the images are actually in two different layers. So select both of those, hit Command E, that will merge those together. Now this time we're going to stretch it instead of shrinking it. M for marquee tool, and I'm just going to go grab from the top all the way down, but I got a little bit of the boat. If I hit the spacebar key, I haven't let go of anything else, just hit the spacebar key, drag over. I'm now past the edge of the boat, bring it down, slide it right into place here. I'll let go of my marquee. I have my selection. Command T brings up transform, and just in case you didn't know, if I do a right click, there are a bunch of options that you can perform during your transform options too, which are fantastic. But we're just going to keep it on regular transform. I'm going to drag this edge over just past the edge of the picture so I don't have any white space. Hit return to accept, Command D to deselect, and now I've brought my image over and stretched it out. Now, this has been working pretty well because I'm not using anything that's really identifiable. The one thing you have to watch out for is if I go ahead and marquee something like the boat, Command T, if I start dragging this around, now a little bit's not a big deal, but too much, and you can obviously tell it's been manipulated. So you always got to stay within sort of a reasonable bounds, and when you're working with things that are nondescript, like the water was here or the trees and the water on the side, it's really not too bad to go ahead and stretch those out. Now let's look at our crop again. I hit C for the crop tool, click on the background. I'm on my third markers. I can go ahead and drag this up, and it gives you an idea of what it looks like now. If you want to push it to more extremes, you can always keep pulling and pushing things in different directions to get more out of it. And click back on this again. If I want to bring it down, so I keep it right on the crosshairs of the third, you can keep working on it, but now your problem is you have the little mast reflection towards the bottom. If I were to work on that, we're going to bring up a host of new problems here, but let's just take a quick look. Grab down, marquee across. All I want is just the mast. To there, grab that portion, Shift Command J, jump it to a new layer, Command T, bring it by transform, drag this down, hit return, and now you start to see we have multiple problems. One, now you can see the pattern the water's been stretched out. It's starting to look a little odd. Two, you see the stretched out mass, which is obviously ridiculous. I could always go up, hit the clone stamp tool, give myself a fresh layer, option, click, decide how high I want it, make that just a little bigger, drag down, and it sort of hides it. If you look carefully though, you would see that. So, but just know it's all possibilities of things you work with. It depends on the layers underneath. It would be really easy to do the sky in all actuality if I went back to a layer with something on it here and crop it, pull it, accept. I have my blank space. I'm working on a layer that actually has sky in it. Once again, it's this nondescript area. Go ahead and grab it. Command T, stretch it on up, accept it, deselect it, and it looks just fine. So easy way to stretch and shrink. Just make sure you're working on something that's not going to really show off what you're doing, or that you're working in such small amounts it's not really a big deal. And you can go ahead and pull things all over the place and meet different stuff. Use a lot if you're doing graphic design because you want to meet the size of a piece of paper, a postcard, or whatnot. In this case, maybe you're just trying to line something up a little bit different. All right, thank you. Hope you enjoyed.